Hey, welcome everyone to the Social Media Mixer. My name is Stacy Kinney, and tonight I'm going to be your host, and I'm excited to bring some great information. We're going to talk about how to get started on building your brand. But before we do that, for those of you on the call that may not know me yet, just let me give you a little bit of background so you can identify and know who I am. I started down this path of social media marketing and learning about internet and how to build my brand just a few short years ago. And I was seeking a way to market my business and build an online presence. So I was learning everything I could, books, systems, you name it. How could I simplify the process? And I learned a tremendous amount of information. But one thing I did learn along the way, I saw that people were able to do this and monetize it. And yes, I was helping and educating people, but I was very picky about products, services, systems, anything that I might promote. So I'm actually really excited to have affiliated myself with a company, My Branding System, with a good friend of mine, because it is incredible value, and it just goes right along with my expertise and my knowledge to really be able to simplify the process, give somebody a web presence, and help them build their brand almost instantaneously, what took me the last year and a half. So that's what I'm all about, is breaking it down, making it simplified, showing people the way step by step so that you don't have to make the mistakes I did. You don't have to spend 2 years learning and not making, a lot of money, but how to get the word out there. So that's what it really is all about. And so if you were on the last call, we talked about the power of social media and the importance of building your brand. My friend told me yesterday, she said, you know what? Unless you live under a rock, how would you not understand the power of social media and how it affects everything right now? And I have to agree. So I'm just going to assume that all of you know that, and let's just go ahead and move forward, kind of get into the steps of how you can get started building your brand. Now there's 3 C's of branding. Okay, personal branding by definition is the process by which we market ourselves to others. Pretty simple, right? But building your brand is going to take a 3-prong approach. Okay, so you've got to be clear on what your prospects can get, and without an excessive explanation. Like, somebody needs to be able to sum it up. Like, what are you about? And you've got to be consistent across all channels, and you must constantly be out there marketing your brand to maintain visibility. So what are the 3 C's of branding? And this is something you really need to have. If there's anything you take away from this presentation, it's these 3 things. And the first thing you need to have is clarity. Okay, you've got to have clarity. The second C is consistency, and then constant visibility. That's it. That is what it takes in a nutshell to brand yourself across the board. So let's dig into these a little bit deeper and talk about clarity. So the first step to branding yourself is determining what your brand is. What niche interests you the most? Okay, what are you good at? What do you like? What is your passion? And that's what I'm saying in this next little point here is, what kind of work do you like or want to do? Your passion. Because that's what you can do. It's about you. Your brand is unique to who you are, and you can build upon that passion, and you can be very successful at it if that's what you're looking for. What you do will serve as a basis for your brand. Okay, now here's an example. If you like to show other people how to build their own business, then business coach would be a part of your brand. Likewise, let's say if you are a real estate agent or in technology field, you're in social media like I am, that's obviously going to influence your brand. I mean, I can't really see the fact if you're a successful real estate agent, why you would be branding yourself as a cook or a recipe, whatever it is, something completely in left field from what you do, unless that's really what your passion is and you don't want to be in real estate anymore. Who am I to say, but you get the point. So really, discovering your brand is a continuous process. Now I want you to think about that. Discovering your brand is a continuous process. Why do I say that? It's because nobody can possibly know when you get started down this road exactly what you're going to end up, who you're going to be, how you're going to develop, because there's so much information, there's so much out there. You're going to learn. It's a constant learning process, and you are going to evolve. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that here later. So what is your mission? What is your goal? Besides making money, okay, I know a lot of you out there, you want to make money, that's great. But you know what? I actually know a lot of people that it's not about the money for them. So they're more focused, and I think the most successful people that I know are more goal oriented, not money oriented. So knowing what that goal is really going to influence how you interact with people and how you sell yourself to them. And here's a good example. And you can take me for an example. As a social media trainer, social media marketing, whatever you want to call me, my goal is to show people how to use social media to increase their business. I mean, that's what I do in a nutshell. So therefore, when I talk to people about the benefits of using social media outlets, how I can help them, different marketing ideas, how to make the most of them so they can attract prospects and build a successful business. But not just anybody, okay? Targeted prospects. See, that's the key, is attracting the right people to your business, to your site, to you, and converting them into sales, if that's what your goal is. And that's what I do. So it's clear, and I make that clear. So the reason for that, now especially with social networking, you're out there meeting people, connecting every day in and day out. Well, when these people talk about me, then they're going to know how to sell me. When they're talking to their friend and their friend says, oh my God, I just have no idea how to get started. This is overwhelming. I don't have any time. They're going to say, oh my gosh, Stacey Kinney, she can show you the way. She can show you how to use these social media tools and how to market your business, how to streamline it, think about your marketing plan, your sales funnel, whatever it is, And that's what it is. Whatever you're doing, if you're a fitness trainer, if you're in the health business, if you're, if you're an author, whatever it is in your skills, you need to be able to sum it up so that people can connect you. And training is knowledge. That's definitely what it's all about. The other thing you need to think about is, who are you serving? Okay, your target market is also going to influence your brand. You will need to incorporate things that make your brand attractive to them. So if you have a target market, let's say, for instance, take the fitness business. I have a friend who's opening a gym. Well, obviously, his market is going to be people that are interested in getting healthy, losing weight, getting fit, maybe bodybuilding, I don't know, all of these things. That's going to be his market. He obviously is not going to be marketing to the people that are sitting on the couch watching TV 24/7. That's not going to do any good. Trying to convince people to change, they're not interested. That's not his target market. So you got to think about who you're serving. So another example is the stay-at-home mom. You think about, what are they attracted to versus the over 50 crowd. Now, even though maybe they want the same thing, and maybe that's to make more money, but I guarantee you their reasons are very different. The stay-at-home mom is going to be focused on supporting a family, having flexible work life. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. I want flexibility, freedom, virtual business. I want it all. But some people are different. And talking about being a work-at-home parent, or just identifying with my target market or people like me, that's a good place to start, maybe to get their attention. And obviously, if you're in the 50 and over, then you don't want to be talking about having young kids and so forth, because they can't identify with that. So your brand and the physical presence, when you think about, this consistency or this look that you're going to build, you also want to incorporate colors, graphics, things of that nature. Let's say if you are the mom and that's the target market for you, then mom friendly. So there's different things that appeal to different people. So big key point here is look at that target market and who you're serving, so you can really hone in and identify and get those people. What are your attributes? What knowledge and skills are you bringing to the table? Because basically it comes down to this. Yes, I mean, if you haven't figured it out yet, you're really not just selling a product. What you're selling is you're selling your expertise along with that product. So people want to know that you can provide them support even after they purchase from you. And there's different types of things. I'm saying purchase as if there's a product. There's a lot of you on the phone probably have products, you have services, you have like all different walks of life. But just understand that really it comes down to you. People do business with people that they know and they like. They also promote people they know and they like. So that's pretty huge as well. People want to feel that they're buying from an expert who knows what they're doing. I mean, think about it. Put the shoe on the other foot. Do you want to, let's take a real estate agent for an example. Do you want to buy from the guy who's just getting started, who's fumbling around, you don't feel like he knows what he's doing, has no clue, can't market himself, you can't find him on Google? Or do you want to deal with this guy that's selling homes left and right, he's got huge web presence, he looks like he knows what he's doing? I mean, okay, that's a pretty simple answer. You know that one. Of course you want to deal with the expert. So you got to be that expert. Whatever it is that you want to be, your passion, your business, be that. Be a leader in your field. But last and not least, as I said before, your brand is all about you. So don't forget to incorporate your personality, okay? Because people are buying you. And I get this a lot of times. Oh, well, I've got to be just specific in that, I've got to be this, or I should be like so-and-so. No, you should be you. Whatever your personality is. If you want to have a little fun, if you want to be all business, if you want to switch it up a little bit. I mean, I see so many different things out there, and there's no right or wrong way because, you're you. And that's it. Your brand is unique because it's you. And I love this because you think about a fingerprint. I mean, nobody else has your fingerprint. Okay, that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you you. Go with that. Do that, because I'm sure you have just amazing qualities and great skills and all these things that you can bring to the table, and you can help people or do so much good out there. Consistency. Okay, so this is really big. I mean, if you want your brand to stick out in your prospect's mind, then you have to be consistent in your image and what you do across the board. So one of the things I suggest, especially through the social media channels, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, is use the same image on all social media channels. Preferably a picture, maybe a recognizable icon, but my personal preference, and I will just tell you right now, and a lot of people that I know out there, especially if you're branding your business, that's one thing, but still, even if you are and you have your company logo, put your name attached to it, like on Twitter. People want to deal with people. They don't want to deal with that logo and that company. They want to know that they're dealing with a real person. So really, and if you're building your personal brand, then obviously, across the board, your picture, make it the same. Doesn't mean you can't change it up, every now and then to make things fun, but you do want to try to stay consistent. Your branding statement, who you are, like we said earlier, should really sum up your brand and who you are. So for example, Stacey Kenny, who am I? Social media marketing and personal branding. That's my statement. That should tell you in a nutshell what I'm about, what I do, and then you know. So that's kind of what it is. Have your tagline, your personal branding statement, whatever you want to call it. Now your bio should be the same on all channels as well. So when you go to set up your Twitter bio, your Facebook, sometimes with different communities, as I would call them, you might change it just a little bit because each social network is its own community and its own culture, and they're all just a little bit different if you hadn't figured that out yet. Now the value that you impart should be consistent on all channels too, and this is something I'm going to talk about when we get to blogs, but even information, whatever it is, for me, when I'm putting information out there, I try to keep it close to my brand. I like to do fun stuff, but I like to tweet out or status update on Facebook about social media topics, things to help people, anything around this area, building your brand or building your business and online marketing. So it's fairly consistent that people get the message about, they know what I do. Maintaining the same look on all channels. So maybe you just use the same color scheme, background, template, but just be consistent. Now, in this, since we're covering consistency, same look and branding and all that, I decided to showcase a friend of mine, a colleague, who I just think is doing an amazing job. Happened to be working with her personally, and this is her new website, and wrussell.me, and she's done a great job with, having clarity about what she does. She's got videos. It's just, to me, this is warm, it's inviting, it's professional. But not only does she have her blog site when you go here, like her home base, but the next slide, you're going to see her Twitter profile. And you can see that she's staying consistent, with her brand. Now, she's also done this with her Facebook. So, as you can see, that's what we're talking about, consistency. So right now she is with the color, with her tips and tools for developing the means to finance your dreams. Across the board, this is what you're going to see, and you're going to become to recognize Debbie Russell, and you're going to understand, exactly what she's about. You're going to identify her with this, and this is definitely a part of building your brand. But I also want you to understand that really, it's all about you. And you see this picture of Debbie Russell, she is the brand. Okay, so whether or not she's got pretty colors or stars or whatever it is, that doesn't matter. It's that picture and it's her. She's the brand, she's the message. Okay, remember that. The last C here that we're going to talk about is constant visibility. The key to building a successful brand is engagement. That's huge. Through social networking, you have to engage. You've got to talk to people, communicate, build those networks. You've got to understand, people want to help you. But you've got to want to help people first. I'll be honest. That's where it starts. You be a giver, you be a connector, you be open to ideas, open to talking to people and figure it out. The more you give, I promise, the more you will receive. To stay on the top of the mind of you really have to consistently do this too. You've got to consistently engage your customers. Otherwise, they're going to put you in the back of their mind. You want to be front and center, always in their mind if you can. Visibility. Yeah, now visibility is huge for sure. You want to be seen. Now, for me, these are the two social networks. I'm not saying this is all. LinkedIn is a very powerful professional network. This just happens to be where I focus because I can only handle so much. So, I make time every day to socialize on Twitter and Facebook. And the other way to be visible, not just through social media, is to start a blog and post articles on a regular basis. Now, I actually didn't start this way. I started by doing some articles and some different things, and I finally figured out that I needed a home base. I needed a place to kind of bring everybody back to. But this is another way to get visibility, get your message out there, get your content. This is how you can be heard and also perceived as an expert rather than just sending out like random stuff or things that don't matter on social media and what you ate for breakfast and what you did. Now, I'm not against being personal, okay? There's a happy medium. But if you really want to be able to take advantage of what I think for your business, and that's a big goal of mine, is to be successful in marketing my business through social media and using these tools because it's very, very powerful. So another way to get visibility is to write and post articles on article directories like eZine Articles. So if you haven't heard about that, definitely write it down, check it out. eZine Articles is probably one of the first places that I started writing articles before I even had a blog. It really, to me, I'm not going to say anything bad, but it just doesn't look really that appealing, eye-catching, soft color, any of that. It's just an article directory, but there's a lot of traffic that comes from that. I have to tell you, the majority of my articles on eZine Articles, they get a lot of hits. Now, the key is to really then link it back to your blog, to that home base. There's all these ways to get visibility, but still in building your brand, i.e. your name, or whether it's your company name or your concept, you want to keep bringing them back to that place where you can educate them and share with them what you have to offer and who you are. Now, you can use automated services to promote the articles that you write on your Twitter account. And that's a lot about streamlining. So you definitely want to be able to get that in motion. You can join forums. You can network with members to help them solve their problems. Now, I've done a little bit of forums myself, but I don't know. I've come to the conclusion, and that's why I don't want you to feel like, oh my goodness, you've got to go out here and do all of this and there's all this work for you to do. No, I'm just sharing with you the different options to gain visibility. You have to start somewhere. Just start with one place, and then when you learn that, go to the next. But it's just being aware because everybody is different, as I said earlier, unique and different, like that fingerprint. So we all have different likes and dislikes. So maybe you like social media and maybe the next person likes the forums, or you never know what floats your boat. So another way is to read and comment on blogs. So if you comment on other blogs, especially think about this. If you are going out there to highly trafficked blogs, big name, and you're leaving comments, it's like you're leaving your mark, and people see that. They might see what you comment. They might click on you and link back to your blog. So that's another way to get visibility. You can also be a guest author or post things on other websites as well. You can purchase advertisement on websites. I try to keep that for last because my goal is to show people how to really maximize their advertising dollars and show people on a very small budget how they can make a huge impact. But there's a lot of options out there. You can offer different promotions, contests, giveaways, things that will encourage engagement with your audience. And another thing that I'm actually going to do and thought about was kind of fun is you can do little surveys and polls. They even have on Twitter like Twit polls or something to that effect. I want to look at SurveyMonkey. So maybe pertaining to your business or just something fun to get people engaged or doing something or active on your blog. Maybe put out a survey. That's an idea. But step one, now, and actually the process of building your brand, now I kind of have to laugh at this picture, GoDaddy, but this is kind of how they've branded themselves. It really is. Other than their logo, it's a bunch of pretty women, with the GoDaddy logo, sexy women. So, they want people to remember that. But the first thing is to register your domain name. It should be your name or a variation of connected to your expertise in some way. I highly recommend you get your name regardless, even if you're branding your business, because the chances are people are going to look for you before they look for your business. And the major benefit is that this makes you portable, so you can move from one company to another without having to start from scratch. Because if you're building your name and not a company, let's say you're a professional, a real estate professional, and you work for a company, you want to be building yourself and your name and what you can do and your expertise. You don't want to be branding that company. Now, another benefit is that people are going to remember, like I said, your name much easier than they're going to remember your company name. So you definitely want to get that. Even if you redirect your name to your company site, I highly recommend doing that. You're also going to show up in search engines. People Google you. I don't know if you're on my last webinar, but 80 million names are Googled every day. Okay, so people are Googling you whether you know it or not. And so you need to get your name, and this is important because people do this search before they do business with you. They will Google you. They will check you out. They will want to know who they're dealing with. Step two, as I said before, if you haven't done it already, build a site, preferably a blog. I mean, blogs are kind of the hot thing now. There's a lot of reason for search engine optimization. They're fresh. You keep them with content. People are seeking knowledge. A lot of just the websites, you can have them nice and pretty, but they're just kind of static. And I think the blog, by far, I know it's going to be better for you. It's where you're going to be able to share your expertise with others. And at a minimum, you should have a bio page with information about you. Keep it professional as possible. You can still mix it up and have fun and a little personal if you really want somebody to know you. The bio should focus on telling them, how you can help them. And that's what it is. It's people are out there looking for you. They have a problem. They need a solution. They're looking for something, so you've got to figure out how you're going to give them those answers. Talk to them as, the problem solver. Your website should look professional. You want a pleasing color scheme. It's attractive to your target audience. However, I really want to note that please do not get caught up on the details because you can always make changes later. Okay, I mean, you're going to evolve, like I said. And don't forget to include a picture of you on your website. Remember what I said, your brand is you. It's your picture, it's you. So people remember faces better than they remember names. I mean, you all know that. So be sure to make sure you have your picture. Step 3. If you haven't done so already, create your profiles on the social networks like Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, okay, the things that are relevant to your trade. And even though you have these multiple profiles, don't stress out. I'm going to tell you right now, don't feel like you've got to understand or know all of them. Just pick one. that you can get familiar with, the one that you're most comfortable with. I know I started with Facebook. It was kind of fun, high school friends, personal, what have you. But then when I really understood the power of Twitter, and it was just amazing to me. It opened my eyes up to a whole new world. I decided to just dive in and just learn everything I possibly could about Twitter. And now I'm kind of at that point where I feel like I've kind of mastered that and got that down, so I'm ready to move on to the next one. But you can always add these on later, like me, when you feel like you're ready for it and you can handle it. Because, it's about being efficient. You don't want to be wasting your time. A lot of people talk about social media as a time sucker, time waster. And it can be if you let it. That's why you have to put systems and disciplines and streamlining and things like that in place so you can be effective. Which leads me to the next point about automated services. There are things that you can do to help you stay on top of your accounts. However, I want to point out, it's not about just automating all this stuff and spamming people. It's about being present. There's a fine line, and I do automate some of my things, but it's not what people would think. It's not to be out there spamming. It's to be efficient and make sense. So when I'm on Twitter, then I can actually engage and communicate and spend time with people and give value. But there's a fine line, like I said, and I'm going to get into more of that in some of the later sessions and trainings and really get into detail of how I do things. Now, you want to link all your social media profiles on your main website. So anytime you can link things together, like on my blog, you're going to see that I have all the different social media. So if you go to stacykinney.com, you can pretty much connect with me in all the right places. Now, if there's a social site that allows you to connect all your profiles, like have your links listed, then definitely take advantage of that. Step 4, start engaging and contributing your brand of value. Post useful tweets and status updates. It's going to help people identify your target market. Do something better or to achieve that goal. Make sure that it's relevant to what you do. Now, blogging is the other effective means of sharing value, which we've talked about, a huge value. And if you see this little picture here, I think, being able to take advantage of all of these ways to get your name out here, this is why, it became clear to me when I started doing articles on hub pages and eZine and Squidoo. I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt like I needed a home base. And that's when I said, you know what, it's time for Stacy Kinney to get a blog, and integrate this and streamline it and be effective. And that's exactly what you can do, is this home base where you can kind of bring everything together and bring people to. So it's important, to take away this from the start, and really understand the branding do's and the don'ts. A brand can take a long time to develop, but only seconds to destroy. Okay, please remember that. Everything you say, everything you do, you could be working hard for years to build your brand, and the last thing you ever want to do is destroy it. So to avoid this, build your brand with your eye firmly on integrity and character. If you can just remember those two things, then you will be awesome. So what do you want to do? Well, you want to take time to create the physical presence. So definitely think about what your website, color scheme, all of that, a recognizable image, what picture you might like. However, like I said before, please don't get caught up in all the details, because you can always refine it later. You can use tools like Google Alert, Yahoo, if you want to monitor your brand, like what people are saying about you. So I have a Google Alert set up, so every time that somebody mentions Stacy Kinney, retweets me, repost, whatever it is, anything that they mention about Stacy Kinney, I want to know what's happening with my brand, as I'm sure you would too. So take advantage of many ways in which you can propagate your brand through the internet. Once again, obviously you're going to, it's kind of ringing clear, blogging. I definitely think that is the home base, and you have to do it. Article marketing, guest blogging, social media marketing, video marketing. Video marketing is huge. It's powerful. Think about what a video does to you when you watch it. And if you're not doing video marketing, I want to encourage you to start thinking about it, and thinking about it seriously, because that's how people can really feel like they get to know you and identify with you. Now, the things that I don't want you to do, no-nos. I don't want you to pollute your brand with trying to do too many things at once, okay? Now, I know that even tonight, I probably very quickly thrown a lot of information at you. Thankfully, I'm recording it. You can watch it again, but just focus on the one thing right now to get started, and then you will build your brand from there. Just know that there's a lot of, possibilities and a lot of things to do, and it's just an amazing world out there. But don't follow the crowd. Do your own thing. You've got to show some personality. People are connecting with you and not your business. So, that's what it's about. Like I said again, I hear people, they're always looking at what other people are doing. It's not about that. It's about you. Be true to yourself. Engage. Don't do this for sure. Don't engage in black hat methods to build up brand recognition. This includes, spamming, whether it's comments, emails, Twitter spamming, forums, anything like that. Does that sound familiar? Hopefully none of you are doing it, but I'm sure you see a lot of it out there. So don't be that person. And don't automate your brand to death. Like I said, you've got to be present if you want to reap the rewards of your efforts. So basically, to sum it all up, and we're nearing the end here, is just to start now. And that's really the most important thing, is to get started. It may seem overwhelming, and that's exactly why a lot of people haven't done it yet, even though you should. And I love this picture here, because I promise you, I talk to people every day, and this is what they feel like. This is oh my goodness, they're like, I am so overwhelmed. I don't know. There's this, there's that. How do I do it? I know I need to do it, but I have no clue how to do it. And that's exactly why I have a market. That's why people need me and need what I do and the systems and tools that I use, like my branding system, because we can help streamline it. You don't have to make all the mistakes that I made. Take advantage of those tools that do a lot of the work for you. Your brand is going to evolve over time. See, now that's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, I need to know exactly what my brand is going to look like. I need to know exactly what, my blog is going to be, my vision. No, just get started, because it's going to change. As you interact more with people, your business associates, as you read articles, you're going to learn new things. You're going to evolve. You're going to change. Your brand is going to change. So even if you look at many of the big brands today, almost all of them are completely different from when they first hit the scene. If you would have looked at me a year and a half ago, and I know people who've seen me and watched me grow, and I've come a long ways. I didn't start off as an expert, and I don't even consider myself an expert. I just consider myself to be a person who's educating myself continuously and sharing that knowledge, and hoping that I can pave the way for someone to make it easier for them. So don't get caught up in the minute details, okay? Because a lot of people will just sit there and do nothing. And I promise you, if you just take that first step, start that blog, do that first post, whatever it is, that first video that you're scared to do, everything will fall into place. It's not ever going to be perfect, okay? We're not perfect as human beings, and that's okay. People love it. They want to know you. They want to see you for who you are. They want something that's real. That's what you need to give them. So basically, guys, that was the presentation tonight. But before you hang up here, because I have one more slide, but I definitely want to fill you in what the next week's topic is going to be. And that's social media marketing. And I want to dig into Twitter. Let's start with Twitter, because for those of you that know me, and maybe the ones that don't, I've spent a lot of my time there in the last couple of years. And so I really want to break it down. I want to give you guys some great ideas, some marketing tips, how to get out there and really make something happen for yourself and for your business. Now, last slide, guys, I want to leave this for you. I did this last week, but I love it because this to me sums it up. I had this quote kind of come to me inspired by the theme with the little flip-flops and the footprints and the social media. And it's so true. And what you're doing is every step you take in life is going to leave a lasting impression. The people that you surround yourself, social media, the things that you do. Who do you want to be? And these are just some little words, that I put on here that I strive to be and I try to be. I want to have integrity. I want to be grateful for things. I am grateful. I give, I share, I'm kind. I'm not saying this has to be you, but think about who you want to be, what your message is, and, how you're going to portray that. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, guys, and you can always find me at stacykenny.com. And I appreciate you taking the time out to be on this webinar tonight. I know everybody has some busy lives, and thank you for my friends in the branding system that have joined us tonight. It's been a wonderful experience so far to have such a great team of people and resources and help, and I'm just so excited to be able to help so many people out there. So thanks for joining us, and I hope you'll tune in next week. Bye-bye.